Hi, in this tutorial we're going to create some animated graphics like these that you can use as overlays for your videos. This actually includes quite a few topics like mesh editing, proportional editing, UV mapping, UV unwrapping, of course shading, modifiers, non-destructive workflows, geometry nodes even, of course animations, keyframes and easing and interpolation, then lighting and light linking, and of course some rendering. Now let's jump right into Blender and create some animated graphics. Okay, I'll be using Blender 4.1 for this tutorial, but you should be able to use 3.6 just as well. Now, of course we delete the default cube and then we need to create the objects that we need for our animation. I'll be looking straight down from the top by hitting numpad 7. Okay, so Shift A and we're gonna put in a plane. Now if we go into edit mode by hitting tab, we have 4 vertices. We want to create sort of a rounded, like a dome almost shape. So we need a lot more geometry, which means we have to subdivide this. Right click, subdivide, and then we can open this menu down here. We can crank it up to 10, but I think I'm gonna enter 20 instead. Okay, yeah, that sounds pretty good. Now I want to create this sort of Squircle shape because it reminds me of the icons on my Android phone, which is like, it's not a square and it's not a circle. So the way we do that is by using something called proportional editing. So I'm going to select, for example, these vertices. Okay, and if I hit a G now, I can move only these vertices. Or if I hit scale, I'm scaling only these vertices. But if I switch on proportional editing, which is this little button up here, and then down here we can select the type or the fall off type of our proportional editor. And if I hit scale now, you can see I get this circle, which is the size, sort of the influence size. And I'm scaling the selected vertices, but it takes all the other ones with it, according to the selected fall off. So you can see if I scale this out, this shape that we get here, this is basically this fall off shape that we selected here. So let's do that. Let's scale it out a little. And we can use the scroll wheel on the mouse to increase or decrease the size of our influence, which is this circle. So we just make it big enough, maybe like this, scale that out. Okay, that's cool. And now we need to bring these corners in. So we'll select the 4 corners and I'm gonna switch over to the sharp fall off and scale this in, but I bring down the size of my influence. And then I have this sort of Squircle shape. So if we look at it like this, we don't want any sharp corners, so maybe even a little bit more is good. Okay, yeah, that's this, perfect. So this would be our button. Now I want this button to be sort of 3-dimensional, so I have to bring it up. If I look at it, this is like infinitely flat or thin. I want to bring this up a little. So same thing again, I'm gonna select these 4 vertices in the middle. I'm going to look at it from the front view by using numpad 1. And then I will bring this up again with proportional editing enabled. But I think this time I'm going to use the inverse square. So GC, I bring this up, I use the scroll wheel and I create something like this. It can be quite round. So now we have this shape. Cool. If we look at it from the top, looks fine. You can find the finished blend file for this tutorial and all of the other tutorials on my channel at patreon.com/chrisp. Thanks to all of my patrons already supporting my work. Next, we have to create this pill shape backplate that the text is on. So for that, I'm just gonna hit Shift A, add a plane, go into edit mode, SX, oh, I have to switch off proportional editing, and then SX, I don't know, 3, maybe SX 4, okay, to give us some room for even longer texts. Okay, now how do we get this pill shape? So let's go back to this guy quickly. In edit mode, you can see we did some destructive modeling. So we moved vertices around, and that's the way it is now. This is destructive. Okay, it's like if you go into a picture editor and you just draw something and then that's on there. However, if you would add a layer and draw onto that layer, you could always remove that layer later. So that will be the non-destructive way of doing things. And we're going to use a modifier here to get this pill shape. And that will be a non-destructive operation. I think I want to bring this down on the Y a little to make the button bigger than this pill. Okay, so now we need to go out of edit mode, add a modifier, and we're going to use the bevel modifier. The bevel modifier just rounds off corners, and it has a mode to round off edges, which, for example, if we add a cube and we add a bevel modifier onto that, it would round off the edges like this. Okay, but it can also round off vertices. So on our pill here, let me call this pill. I'm going to set this to vertices, and you can see it does exactly that. It takes the vertex that's in here in edit mode. We only have 4 vertices, and then it makes it rounder. And if we crank up the amount here, just all the way, and then we have this, and then we can turn up the segments to something like 64, crazy number, which means we now have 64 segments in here, which give us a really nice pill shape. Cool, so now we have a pill. It is still infinitely thin though, so if I deselect it, I can't even see it, it's so thin. So I want to add another modifier, the solidify modifier, which just gives us the ability to give it some thickness, as you can see here. Now if I look at it from the front, I can actually see it. Okay, so now we have a pill that has some thickness, and this thickness is actually important, and we will see that why later. Okay, now what else do we need? Of course we need a text, so Shift A, where is it? Text. Okay, we go to the text properties over here, and then we go paragraph alignment. We want to put it in the center, and we also want to put it in the center that way. Then we go into edit mode, and I'm gonna do the YouTube button, so I'm gonna use a Chris Brenn because that's the username on YouTube. Okay, I think we have all the objects. Let me see what this looks like. We have to place them. Okay, let's go back to the text object. Go to geometry and extrude a little to give that some thickness also. Okay, so this sticks out a little. We can bring it up a little. So that's like that. Okay, now looks pretty cool. Now, how about we jump into some shading so we can actually see what we're working with, and then we can do animations. Okay, I'm gonna split the view here. I'm gonna go into camera view here and set this to the shaded mode, switch off the overlays. I will switch over to cycles, GPU rendering. Okay, then I select the camera, hit Alt-G to bring it back to the center, and Alt-R to reset rotation. So now it's just pointing straight down. I can bring it up on the Z-axis, and I'm going to use a different camera. So this at the moment is a perspective camera. So if I move this object up towards the camera, it gets bigger, and if it's further away, it gets smaller. So this will be like a real world camera. However, we can switch this over to orthographic. And an orthographic camera, if I bring this object up, you can see it doesn't get bigger. Of course, the light changes because I'm moving the object, but it stays the same size. So this is a really nice camera. If you want to make something look more 2D, which is what we're going for here, we're actually using a 3D software to create a 2D animation that still has shadows and stuff and looks 3D, but it's actually more like a 2D graphics, right? And using the orthographic camera is really good for that. And the way you position, or the way you zoom with this camera, if I move the camera up on the Z-axis, you can see I'm not getting further away. This doesn't get smaller, and it doesn't fit into my camera view now. The way you do that, basically zooming, with this orthographic camera is using this orthographic scale. So I'm going to move that out like this. And the way what I'm thinking here is I want this to have some shadow. We're going to use a shadow catcher for this. And so I need some space all around my objects to have a nice, to have space for a shadow. Okay, I hope you're enjoying this tutorial so far. If you do, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. It's free after all, and it really helps me out. Thank you so much. Back to the tutorial. And then I'm going to hide this camera, because otherwise, if I look at it, look at my stuff from the top, it's always, this camera is always in the way. So the camera is set up. Now we only have white materials, is a bit boring. Let me go into here, film, and enable transparent right away. So if we render this out now, we actually get a transparent background. We can put that into like a PNG or any other file format that supports transparency. And then we have that. Then we're going to take care of the shadows. And yeah, okay, so we need some materials. This should be just white. So let me give the pill a new material, call it pill. And I'll just make it pure white. Then we take the text, new material text, and make it black. Cool, now I'm going to move the lamp over. I'm going to set this lamp to an area light. Alt-R to reset rotation, Alt-G to reset the position. Then I'm going to bring it up so that it's above all my objects. And I will set this to rectangle and I make it rather wide and something like this. Okay, now this is way too strong. Also, one thing I want, because we're going to use logos. I'm going to use the YouTube logo, but for all the other ones I used all the other logos downloaded from the internet. I want to keep all the colors the same as they are intended in the logos. And to do that, we have to switch our color management to standard. And when I do that, it changes the way the lights are calculated, or the brightness values especially. So I want to switch the color management over to standard first, and then now I can play with the light intensity. So this is probably still a bit much. Maybe if I bring this up, you can see we're getting some shading in here now, and this should be basically almost white. Now let's go back to our text. We can increase the roughness on the black text to make it more black, less reflective, more rough. Is just more black, and that's what we want, right? We want to go for this sort of 2D graphics look, except that this thing is actually a round shape and we get some shading. Very nice. Okay, now the last object we need is a background that actually gives us a shadow catcher. We just go Shift A mesh, plane, scale 10 times, and then we bring that down on the C axis, so G, C, and you can see we have shadows. Very nice. Okay, now we lost our transparency. We have a white or gray background now, and what we have to do to get just the shadows on a transparent background is we have to go to the object properties of our background, and we go to visibility and we switch on shadow catcher. Now look at that, we have transparent and we have the shadows. So if we save this into a PNG file, we actually have transparent shadows. Perfect for what we want, so we can render this out and then put it onto our video. And we still have a nice shadow around it. There's one thing with the shadow catchers though. They are usually creating very dark shadows. So if we save this to a PNG file now, this would be, especially close to our object here, it will be black. And if you want to put this onto a video, you want sort of a softer shadow, like a more transparent shadow. Now, luckily, we can adjust the transparency of the shadow on our transparent background, because the shadow catcher still respects the settings of the material. So this doesn't even have a material yet, so let's create one. Let's call it shadow catcher. Oops, catcher. And if you look closely here, I can now change the alpha And I can bring it down to 0 or all the way up to 1. And I'm actually changing the transparency of this background plane, which is the shadow catcher. So I'm changing the transparency of the shadow. And for my tests, I did a few test renders. I found out that 0.75 for the transparency, 75% opacity, is a good value to render this stuff out. Subscribe and activate all notifications so you don't miss the next video.